We have shared a lot on this same topic of African parenting style versus affection to children. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Stella Luka, and I'm all for family and work-life balance. I talked a lot about this topic already in the first video, where we laid foundation on what researchers are saying about the type of parenting styles that African parents do apply, and what God says about the children and how to love them, what Muslims think, and what other people, researchers, found out. And today we are going to talk about the second part of this topic, where we will discuss the different types of parenting style that African parents do apply, and how Africans are unique in the way of raising their children, and the impact of the parenting style that Africans do implement. So if you find this content of interest, please like, subscribe, and share with other people so that they can join us and we join forces in improving the life of our children and make Africa a better place. Now, as you can see today, I'm wearing my mommy dress. All right, so let's jump right in. I read somewhere that there are so many types of parenting style. Apparently, Africans apply mostly two types of parenting style. The first one is the authoritarian, which is all strict and parents are in control at all times and children have no say. That sounds very familiar to me. The second one is the authoritative type of parenting style, which has a balance of both the strict and leniency. All right, so Africans are very unique when it comes to parenting. For instance, to make you feel bad, you will be compared to the girl next door for two reasons. Either because you are behaving well, so you are like that good girl who is all about books, studying. And then the second one, either because you are not behaving well, so you are the bad girl the next door who is always with boys, wearing skimpy clothes, skirts, whatever, responding back to your parents. Now, responding back to parents is another thing. As an African child, you never respond back to your parents. Whether they are right or they are wrong, they are always right, and you take it. As an African a child, you do not have a say. It doesn't matter how old you are. Even if you're 20, you do not have a say. It makes it worse if you are still staying in your parents' home. Your opinion don't matter. And whatever they give you at home, that's what you eat. If they say you're going to drink water, that's what you will eat. African parents have different ways of making you feel pain. They can either use a cane and beat you properly until probably some parents actually beat their children until they bleed. Or you can be insulted. You can be called an idiot, stupid, you're a hopeless person, a prostitute, you will never make it in life, all that kind of thing. One Bible verse that I pray Holy Spirit will help interpret to parents one day would be the book of Proverbs. I'm using ESV, English Standard Version. The book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 15. It says, "The rod and reproof gives wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to their mother." This verse made our parents killers. African parents are mistreating their children, abusing their children. In South Africa, by the way, corporal punishment is labeled domestic violence. And parents protested against it because for them, They were beaten and nothing happened to them. They turned out right, so they will have to continue beating their children. Not knowing that they were beaten by former slaves. And the former slaves beat them as if they were treated as the slaves. And we are continuing to beat our children. That means we are continuing to spread the spirit of slavery in our homes, on our children. I also read somewhere that the habit of beating children is not an African thing. They adapted it from the time of colonialism, from the time of slavery, because they were beaten to keep them in check. And now they are applying the same thing on their own children. Even in schools, children are beaten. So it's a practice that Africans need to stop. In fact, if you ask a question, why do Africans beat their children? There is no clear explanation. The answer could be, that's how we were raised. We were beaten also. Researchers have indicated in their findings that the habit of beating children, of harassing or the harsh treatment, punishment of children has negative impact, especially in the homes of authoritarian parents. Children who grew up in the homes of authoritarian parents turned out to be aggressive at school. They turned out to be socially incompetent. They are the ones who do not know how to make friends and disliked by people in school. And when they grow up, they are the same people who abuse. Boys who are caned by their fathers, they turn out to be the abusers. In fact, we are encouraging domestic violence in the life of our children. We are preparing them for that. For the girls to be submissive, to be abused, and for the boys to abuse. Another reason could be fear of unknown. The fear of not knowing what is going to happen tomorrow made our parents beat us. And we are doing the same. The fear of our children changing make us beat our children and give them harsh punishments, which is not right. And then the third one could be that we have removed God from parenting business. These children are given to us by God as a reward. So why are you treating children like this? In fact, you find the Christian parents are even worse. I watched a video, I think it was made by Ghanaian parents. They were labeled the strictest parents in the world at the time. They are very strict. I will leave a link in the description. If you get time, you can watch. They are very strict to the extent that the white people were sending their own children to be disciplined by these parents. We are actually doing more damage than we are doing good. I've also found out that South Africa is the lead when it comes to child beating, followed by Nigeria, Ghana, Togo. These are countries that are known for beating children, both at home and at school. If we look at some of the things that we are doing to the children, we are actually destroying Africa, because we made our children to be timid, and our chauvinism and the jingoism in us as Africans, the element of not wanting change, we are instilling in our children. We are making them not to invent anything. And naturally, Africans are supposed to be proud, but because of the way we raise our children, they turned out to be wayward. In some homes, we are the ones who are making our children to run away from home. We are the ones making our children to turn out wrong because of the harsh treatment that we have instilled in them. We have instilled fear in our children. We have made our children stupid not to think. So all these things are not good. They have negative impact. The way we are harsh, the words that we use. I remember in my home, our parents used to pinch, you are pinched in the stomach, in your belly, you are pinched, and it's very painful. Some of them don't even have the time to get a cane. They use their hands. There are children that were hit. This harshness, it has a character trait, problematic behavior in our children. It needs to stop. I didn't know the magnitude of how bad the negative African parenting side have on a child until I started this topic. And I thank my brother who requested that I do this video, because I have learned, if 1 or 2 people are going to learn from what I'm going to say today, that is good, and I'm grateful. In fact, this video, I made it for myself because I have learned a lot. One thing I didn't know is the fact that the way we beat our children as Africans is a thing of slavery. I didn't know that. I thought it's one of the disciplinary measures. And one of my sons asked me that, oh, so if this was introduced to African parents by slavery, does it mean that you have been treating us like slaves? I could not answer that question. But guess what? If you are a parent out there and you still treat your children with harshness, you still beat your children, guess what? You are practicing slavery with your own children. And you are not just practicing with your own children, you are promoting the spirit of slavery, because your children are going to do the same, and the children are going to do the same. If that is going to change, as one of the preachers was saying, it has to stop with us. It is us to decide to ourselves and be like, you know what? We are not going to be doing what our previous parents, our great-grandparents taught us. We are going to do it different. We are going to use the Bible. We are going to use the principles that God operates with, which is the faith, to have faith in our children that they will turn right, to believe in our children that they will do the right thing, and to love, to sacrifice for our children, to give our children the best that we could. We have to refrain from this. Every parent who will watch this video, I request that you look at yourself. Use this as a wake-up call to change and refrain from this, because it is damaging your children. I was a child safeguarding focal person before, and we were trained that if there is anything you do to a child that makes a child uncomfortable, make a child fear not to voice their own opinion, that is an abuse. That is a child abuse. It needs to stop. And that is one of the reasons that makes our children not to say anything even when they are being abused. Our girls will be abused, and when they try to talk to us, we shut them down. We are killing our children as African parents. I am telling every African parent that is there, join me. Tell somebody. Those who know, thank God for you. Those who do not know, please learn from it. Refrain from caning your children. Refrain from harsh treatment. From today onward, join me and let us do things different. Today, I just want to hint on the types of parenting that African parents apply and the negative effect on our children and where it has come from. I will share books and resources that you will read further. Attend parent meeting. Involve God in your children upbringing. Fear not, for the Bible says that love is patient, love is kind. That's how we are going to treat our children, with a lot of kindness, with a lot of patience. We have to change. If we are going to move this continent far, if we are going to help our children, we need to refrain from the harsh treatment that we give our children, from the harsh ways we do. I am not let me put a disclaimer. I am not a psychologist in any way. I am just a parent, and I am speaking out of experience and from what I have learned. I have learned that beating a child, harsh treatment on a child has negative impact on our children. They make our children not to perform well at school. They make our children to be aggressive. They make our children to be socially incompetent. And they make our children not to have friends, not to be liked. Based on this, I don't want anybody else to say anything to me. I will have to refrain, and I'm telling anybody out there that is under my voice right now, refrain. Refrain and change and adapt a better way of treatment. Now that we have concluded on the second part of this video, where we talked about the impact, the different type of parenting styles that Africans do apply, and the impact of those parenting styles, the next and the final part of this video is going to be part 3 on the same topic, African parenting style versus affection towards children. And there we will discuss the effective way of how to show affection to our children so that we can do it better. I took time because I didn't want to rush with this topic. I wanted to first of all understand what it is that I'm going to talk about, and believe me, I have learned a lot as a person. So if 1 or 2 people are going to learn, that will be good enough for me. This video has been for me, and I really thank so much my brother in the United States who advised me to do something about African parenting style versus the affection towards children, because it is one area that African parents are struggling with, either knowing or unknowing. And it is time for us to, wake up and take a bold step in changing our parenting style. And we have the values, we have the skills of raising our children, because our children are well mannered. All we have to do is do a small touch of change. Just add love, patience, kindness to it, believe and trust. Just the 3 principles that God operates on: the faith, the hope, and love. When we add that to our parenting style, imagine we are going to raise the best children all over the world. If Ghana is labeled as the best country when it comes to parenting and raising disciplined children, then we were going to do the best that we could to raise these children. Thank you so much for taking time to look through my videos. I don't take it for granted. Please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the final and last part of this video, where we're going to talk about the effective way of how to show affection to our children. Until then, stay blessed, and I see you then.